Now, Facebook does not have sound, right?
It just has the phone.
Okay.
Hey, what's happening? More technical difficulties. You know, we're just always so happy about that. I'll try not to show my frustration because I'm just happy to be here with y'all. So Facebook is giving me a challenge. So we're like this today because I have to use a second device. Hey, Shaz. And I cannot go vertical on Facebook, apparently. So here we are. We're going to make the best of it. My floor back here is a hot mess. Y'all don't judge me. It is what it is. We started cleaning up yesterday, but I think we made it worse. We got to finish before it gets better. Hey, Angie. Hey, Barbara. Hey, Beverly. Hey, Miss Jenny. I know, Jenny, I had some different color shirts made because, you know, I was tired of being gray all the time. Oh, and I'm hot. I don't know why. Every time I get flustered, I get a hot flash. Does that happen to y'all? Good morning from Australia. Good morning, Samantha. And, oh, you know, let me see. I don't see any comments from YouTube yet, but let me put it over here on YouTube. Hey, Ruru. Ruru, too. I like that. So my husband's checking the sound because y'all know how he is. It has to be good. And I don't know. I think we might just go live on YouTube, babe.
I'm sorry, what?
Like, hey, Memory. I'm wondering if we should just go live on YouTube.
Well, you are live on YouTube and it sounds fine.
I know.
So,
I mean, we'll stay on Facebook tonight, you guys, but we may just start going live just on YouTube on Sunday nights. Facebook disconnected my app, so I can't use it. So I can't use multiple cameras until I can figure it out. So if I can't figure it out, we may just go live from YouTube.
I know people have a problem with commenting on that.
I know.
Because they want to watch on their TV, which I understand.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that. Boy, I made a mess out of that.
Well, but you can go from your phone, though. You can make comments from your phone.
But it just means you're doing double duty. You're watching on TV and you got your phone. And
I know. You guys tell me.
I wonder if it's worth a call to
Shannon.
Facebook. I mean,
You're so funny.
What? No, seriously, to say, look, you know, I'm trying to do business on your platform, and if you don't want me to, just let me know.
Yeah. Baby, I am a nobody.
I know.
You two don't care about Royce cycles? No, and you're the fact that you think
Facebook,
that I mean, you think I can call Facebook. That's the funny part.
Well, you got to send a message and then, because in theory, there's somebody there.
In theory.
You know.
People have lost their pages and tried to call Facebook, babe, and you just don't get
but you're talking about business.
No, I'm talking about business pages.
I get that, but how much advertising were they doing, etc.?
But I mean, you can't even get anybody on the phone to have that conversation. I don't advertise either, just saying.
Yeah.
Anyways, hello, beautiful people. How are you guys doing? I'm talking to two cameras tonight. So, we're having some technical difficulties.
Well, we're not having any technical difficulties.
No, Facebook is having technical difficulties. So, where are you? It's storming in Western Illinois.
Oh, somebody said it was beautiful in Illinois.
Oh, okay. But we're going to move forward, right? We're going to do the things and we're going to hang out. And I don't have my air on because I know that for Facebook, I'm just using my phone mic. So I'm sorry if it sounds a little weird, but I don't have a mic. Well, I have a mic for my phone, but.
Mindy Cassidy says she can hear you fine.
Okay, so you guys can hear it just fine?
Yeah.
Very good. So, y'all know what happened, right? Like I had a plan on what I was going to do and then I changed my mind at the last minute. I'm a mess. It's ridiculous. But let me figure out somewhere to put these stencils where I can get to them fairly easily in a few minutes. So, George and I have been working in the shop. Oh, I meant to bring the other one. Anyways, you guys will see them if you watch the YouTube video. I'm trying to make sure I don't open it upside down because then there'll be problems. I have a collection problem, which I'm sure all of you guys know. If you follow me on any other platforms, you see my madness. You know what? Should we say hi to everybody before we get started?
Susan Steinberg Prentice. Is it hot there?
It's very hot.
It's not very hot.
Okay, it's hot because it hasn't gotten hot yet, so I'm hot.
It's warm, and we had to turn the air off, so.
I'll be wishing for this temperature in about a month.
Yeah, it's warm, but it's not horrible.
Okay, let's say hi to everybody, babe, and then we'll start. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm all out of sorts.
I gotta take. Oh, there we go. Okay, on YouTube we have Ruru2, Shannon Booth, Kim Lamar, Flea Brown says hello from sunny Santa Barbara. Let me see if I can read that. Lorijo Narad, Lorijo, Lorijo. I apologize if I mispronounced.
Lorraine?
Says hello from Michigan, Narad. Did you know Michigan has the largest Muslim population in the United States?
I did not know that.
Of states. I mean, has the greatest Muslim population of any state.
In the United States.
In the United States. Shannon Booth, Facebook doesn't help anybody. I call it fake book. Ruru too says fake book. So there we go. I don't know if you guys can hear me. I'll try and talk up. Boy, it's weird. I'll be yelling at YouTube.
I know, Facebook. Can you guys hear David over there?
Shannon Booth, Barbara Garrels, Jenny Marmion loves the blue shirt.
Thank you, Jenny.
Shaz Conabier from the UK, Samantha Brown from Australia, Tammy Valoni, Angie Champagne, Memory Williams from Amarillo, Texas. Jenny Marmion says it was 89 in Illinois today. Now it's storming in 68. Corey Christensen from Las Vegas. Denise Koviak Leonard from Northern Michigan. Angie asked, do you want everybody to watch on YouTube? You'll be able to hear better.
You'll be able to hear better if you pop over to YouTube because David has his mic on.
But
although they said they can hear you.
YouTube, you're not going to be able to shoot downward from YouTube.
Yeah, I have my other phone.
Oh, you got that one hooked up for YouTube? Mm-hmm. So there's no TikTok tonight?
Nope.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
No TikTok tonight.
So, Angie, to answer your question, to answer everybody's question, you'll hear better and see better on YouTube.
Yeah. So if you guys want to pop over to YouTube, you can. But if you want to stay here on Facebook, just know that we'll be like this all night.
Yeah. Susan
I look younger on Facebook because I got the angle.
Susan Steinberg Prentice says there's nobody home at Facebook. Michelle Adamus, Mindy Hogan Cassidy, Anna Pierce from Georgia. Lori Slate from Connecticut. Let's see. Joby Marshall, Jill Schneckloth Burmeister from Stormy, Iowa. Lorraine Dobbins. Angie says you need a quiet mini split AC unit. Sure.
Oh, I know. That's what we're trying to install. Don't even say mini split to me right now. We have spent the entire week. I have not gotten a ton of work done this week because I've had men in and out my house all week. We get the mini split installed and now it won't work. Anyways.
Barbara Garrels says it's beautiful in northern Colorado, 70 partly sunny. Elsa Mickus, Jersey Shore is 79 and sunny. I'm glad we're getting all the weather updates. Let's see, Samantha Brown, Dawn Perry Headley, Linda Raboyne asks if you're having a hot flash. Mm-hmm. Nancy Fortin Pocatello, beautiful in southeastern Florida. Diane Fanning, Priscilla Vogue Brockman. My problem is I'm looking at YouTube on my phone instead of my tablet, which is vice versa. So the comments are over your image. And it's tough to read, so I apologize. I'm going to switch in a minute. She says 63 in Flagstaff today. Denise Leonard. Okay, going to you, Rube. I like that. Samantha Brown says it's all about the angle.
Right, Samantha? I tried to tell my husband that.
Flea Brown says YouTube better for sound, but the camera angle is better on Facebook. And is it Tommy or Tommy Quiroz?
Quiroz, probably.
Quiroz.
Yeah, but I have double camera, so we'll be switching to the overhead camera in just a minute. Please.
All right, and then on YouTube we have, let's see, Vicky Moore from Kentucky, Angie Champagne says, yeah, the sound is better on YouTube. Lorijo Narad says, iodine helps with hot flashes.
Really?
Redeem says, much better. Shannon Booth says, you look beautiful on YouTube as well. Love the bright colors.
Thank you.
And Jenny Marmion says, yeah, the sound is better. Yeah, that's because it's a phone mic on Facebook.
Yeah, we're using we don't have a mic for Facebook because we're just using the phone.
Tommy, thank you, Tommy. I appreciate it. And Connie Berkram says, your drink looks yummy. On Facebook, they could see what it is. They see inside.
Oh, I know. You guys can see inside on Facebook. Yeah. It's ginger and lemon and, oh my gosh, I bought some flower blooms. I know what they are, but as soon as you ask me, I don't know now. But yes, it is really tasty. And it helps me so that I don't lose my voice. I've been not under the weather this week. I've had like this really weird, icky, not cold thing going on all week this week. So my voice is a little weird. So I made sure I had my hot tea. So hopefully it doesn't leave me by the end of the night. So thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. For anyone here who's new, my name is Royce Hunt Bell of Royce Cycled's Treasure, and the voice you hear behind the camera is my husband, David Bell, the troublemaker.
That's his name. I didn't make trouble this time.
Not yet. Not yet. So thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. I feel like every time you guys come to hang out with us, we're having problems. But we'll work our way through it. It'll be good. So I'm excited to show you guys what we've been up to. So George and I built these. I saw it on Pinterest. So I collect frames all the time, you guys. And I don't even know what I'm going to do with them, but I love them. And if they're gold and ornate, then they're like a guaranteed purchase if I find them at the thrift store, right? So we made like these little, I don't know, we want to call them like medicine shelves out of them. See it? It's like on a hinge. And I have little, that's a bad word. I can't say that. We drilled holes on the side so that, I have the shelf is like taped to the bottom so that you can like adjust your shelves within its shelf however you want. And on the back side, we have these little hooks so that you could hang it flush against the wall. So David says it could be like your secret hiding place for your stash. Or like if you hang a few of these in your craft room, you can like put your little, it's like the perfect size to put your little paints in or something. So we built these, and about a month ago, we talked about our new behind the scenes series that we're going to be doing on YouTube. And so I have all of the rest of the video already assembled just to show you guys exactly how we did this. And so I thought it would be fun to come on tonight and finish it up together. And then I will post the video showing you guys how I built it later on this week. Or how we built it. Y'all see, George did most of the building. Let's just be honest about the situation. But it's my idea. I give instruction. That's what I do. Right? Stash your secret craft supplies. Exactly, Chinny. And so I am thinking that I love this the gold. I don't think I'm going to mess with it. I think I like it.
Your mic is pointed at your body.
Oh, I see. This shirt doesn't have as much structure as the other shirt did, oddly. Yeah. And so it keeps flipping it.
Yeah, pin it on the outside there.
Okay, on the outside there. Your Midwest, sometimes it just pops out of there. Pin it on the outside there.
I thought I pronounced the TH. Apparently I didn't.
It's just funny. Okay, I'm just going to do it on the outside, like that.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Is that better, you guys? So I'm like really loving the gold. And let me put my other camera down so you guys can see what I'm talking about. That might be helpful. I am loving the gold. Why does my desk look extra messy tonight? And so I feel like the only thing that I probably want to do to the actual frame is maybe to refresh this part right here. This cloth part. But what we're going to do tonight though is I'm going to show you guys something. So we use a lot of upcycled parts for these projects, and when you guys watch the video you'll see. And this is just an old piece of panel left over from another project, but the way we built them, we just put, you guys know how on frames you have like the little
do Do you want to tilt your Facebook camera down a little bit more?
A little bit more so you guys can see more?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh man, I'm gonna have to screw that one back in. We have these little round things on here, so I can take this out. And I thought the fun thing would be to be able to swap out my art whenever I wanted. And like for this piece, because I'm probably gonna put this one in my living room, but we have like a few more. I am going to, we're gonna put some artwork on the front of this. And then on the back, I think I'm just gonna paint it with like some chalkboard paint so that I can flip it over whenever I want. Let me sit this down. So this is our little frame shelf. I mean, you could just take the artwork out and just have the frame inside. I mean, the shelf inside too. That would be an option. But maybe I'll bring one of the other frames another day and we can do that one together. But let me wipe this down really quickly. I wiped the frame down really well, but I didn't wipe down the panel. So I thought we could do something with the recycled stencils tonight. Is that okay with you guys? Okay. And I'm just wiping this down. And this is just a super inexpensive piece of MDF panel that I had in my wood pile because Lord forbid I throw anything away. Oh, you know what I meant to do before I took it out? Criminies. I want to mark where the frame cuts off so that I know where to put our artwork, because I don't want to make something fabulous and have it all hidden behind the actual frame. So let me go back. If I can figure out what side opens, it's this side. And we have like a little magnet on here too, so that when it closes, it like snaps closed almost. So let me put this back in here. And I'm just gonna mark, I guess the frame doesn't take up a bunch, but I'm using my teeth too. I shouldn't be doing that. So that I know, you know, what part's actually going to show on the frame. Okay. Oh, it wasn't that much, huh? I thought it'd be more. So before we can even get started, you guys know the first thing we're going to have to do is paint this white. And I was going to paint the other side, but I guess since I marked this side, we'll go ahead and start with this side.
Kathleen Hoover says, I don't understand the purpose of the box frame. What are you going to put inside?
I don't know. I mean, I could theoretically, if my husband let me, put it in my bathroom and put a mirror in it.
You'd have to really seal that because of the steam though, right?
Well, yeah, but everything, the vanity is wood. Like in any bathroom, the vanity is going to be wood. Any kind of cabinets you have in there are wood. They're just painted.
Oh,
You're
yeah,
just
yeah. I'm sorry.
You're seeing the raw wood on here, and so it just, you know.
No, I worked in a factory for one summer when I was an actor, and we made medicine cabinets.
Oh, that was
and it was
back
metal,
in the
and
day.
I still have the scars where I was bending the metal, and I didn't hold it properly, and it bounced and
oh yeah,
poked me twice. Yes. So but that to me, that's medicine chest is metal.
Back in the day, medicine cabinets were metal.
So
look, back in the day, I'm messing with them a little bit, y'all. But I mean, a lot of the medicine cabinets you buy now, they're wood. I mean, and the vanities are wood. You just seal it. It's fine.
Flea Brown says teeth are a part of our toolkits.
Oh my gosh, my grandmother, if she was here, she'd be getting on me. She used to say, teeth are jewels, not tools. And I should have listened to her because the exact place where I insisted on opening bottles all the time is where I have 2 missing teeth on the side. It's amazing how, you know.
Shannon Booth says, I've seen people use them as secret cabinets or to hide heat controls on the wall.
Oh, oh yeah, like if you had like any kind of a, anything on the wall. Thermostat, or like sometimes you'll have like an electrical box.
Or the control panel if you got a smart home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a pretty cool idea. I'm going to put it up in the living room, in the corner that I have. I don't know what I'm going to stash in there, though. And really, we made them pretty shallow so that you could hang it on a wall and it would add dimension to that artwork. Or if you had several pieces where you made them, right? And then you'd have several like shelves in your living room. Who doesn't need any more storage?
Susan Steinberg Prentice, I have raw wood in my bathroom. It holds up.
Yeah.
Jenny Marmion, hey, did you see that Lexi is using Amy Howard cracked gesso like you did last week? I bought some.
Yes. Yeah, actually, it's funny. We discovered Amy Howard last year, but Lexi picked it up first. And so she's done a couple of classes already. And so I was ordering from her for a little bit until I had time to really work with the product and get to know it before I picked it up myself.
I was going to say, I thought she knew about gesso before you did.
No, we both discovered it together. She just pulled the trigger faster than I did.
Gotcha.
Because she had used it before and she was familiar with it. So
Jean Higginbotham says, what did you spray on the wood before you painted?
I just sprayed a little bit of water, you guys, so that my gesso would spread easier. Let me fix this camera. You guys don't need to see my belly. You guys want to see what I'm doing. Oh, Lord, what did I do? Oh, man. Seriously, Royce? I can't help but laugh, y'all. I pushed the button and I turned the switcher off. Maybe it's still... Nope, I got to do it. It's not a big deal. It'll just take a few minutes. It's all good.
Shannon Booth says you could put keys or all kinds of stuff in there.
That'd be cool, because you could actually like put little hooks on there on the inside and hang your keys. That's a good idea.
And it could also serve as a charging station.
Oh, yeah, like a nice charging station. Sorry, y'all. I pushed the button when I was moving the phone. I'm causing problems over here. Okay. So I just put a little white gesso on my board. You could use white chalk paint if that's what you guys have, or acrylic paint. I'm just putting a white background because we're going to use stencils, but I want to do a background of decoupage paper first. And I do not know exactly what I'm doing, so I might ask for you guys' help. And I think I'm going to do a second coat. It's funny, I'm so used to using my chalk paints, which are, they're more opaque than the gesso is. So I'm used to one and done, but I think I'm gonna do a quick second coat on this before we move on to the decoupage.
Am I the only, this has nothing to do with what you're working on. Am I the only one that prefers certain kinds of water?
Oh, I'm sure you're not.
It's weird.
You don't like this one? Is that why you're bringing it up?
No, that one?
Yeah, the Food Club, is that the one?
Yeah. It's all right. It's all right. I really like sparklets, which is what we get delivered at the radio station.
Yeah.
When the guy remembers to deliver to the radio station.
Yeah.
We tend to go real long periods between deliveries. And, everybody hates to admit this. I like Walmart's water.
Yeah, I do.
But Sparklets is
the bomb diggity.
It really is good. I hate to say that, but so I'm just curious if I'm the only one that. And what's the one? I'm a Diet Pepsi guy, but I don't like Pepsi's water. What's their water? Is it Aquafina?
Oh, I don't know.
Whatever their water is, I'm not a fan.
You don't like it. So when you guys see me spraying water, it's just so I can get my product to spread easier. It's a little tacky, so I want it to spread nicer because I don't want to use a ton of product.
Tammy Valoni, I don't care for Arrow. I'm guessing it's Arrowhead.
Yeah.
Shannon Booth says, yeah, some water is just gross. I'm not saying gross, there's just some that something's on my tongue with this water. And I can't explain it.
Oh Sorry.
I can't explain it.
There's something coating your tongue.
Yeah, whereas like I get that sparklets and it's just water.
It's just water.
And you've seen me. I
know.
I go through a bottle during my show, so I go through a bottle in a half an hour. Flea Brown says Dasani is delicious.
Dasani is good, but it's spendy.
Yeah, Angie Champagne, like Spring Best. No, Jenny, on my tongue, not my taste buds. There's something on my tongue. Now,
what's in the ingredients?
I will say, when you took your nap, I did have a little cheesecake.
Oh, that's probably what's on your tongue.
That's probably what's on there, but...
why you gotta tell everybody I took a nap, baby?
Yeah, Gene Higgin, because you're allowed. It's Sunday. if we're not going to brunch, you get to take a nap.
Yes.
Gene Higginbotham. There are certain brands I don't like, but I agree. Walmart's water is good. It is. And we're not supposed to say anything good about Walmart because they put little shops out of business. But doggone, I like their water.
You know, though, I have to say this. Do big box stores affect smaller shops? They do. But the local communities have some responsibility with that too, right? We have a choice.
You have to adapt. Yes.
I mean, because I remember when Super Walmart opened and everyone's saying we're going to lose Safeway. And I made a deliberate decision to include Safeway in my shopping. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes when communities lose things, they're upset with the companies, but your behavior is what actually dictates it, right? Just saying.
Chris Schmidt, I get cases of Walmart water, go through too much water to buy expensive.
Yeah.
And I get that. I just honestly, I prefer it.
And I drink tap water. Nobody else in my house does. I drink tap water here when I'm home. Now, if I'm in somewhere else, no, because I don't know.
And I didn't grow up here. So the tap water I drank, because I drank tap water,
yes,
was fine. But then I moved to Arizona, and I'm like...
well, not it's just Arizona, because I won't drink tap water in Phoenix.
I tried it in Havasu. It did not go well.
Did you try it here?
I've had, yes, there have been times where I'll take a drink of water because I'm taking like a Tylenol or something.
Yeah.
And I'm still not a fan. Yeah. Jennifer Stever, my tap water is disgusting. Hey, there are parts of the country that are struggling.
I know.
Right now, I get that. Gene, I like Dasani, no Arrowhead water. For me, there is a difference in the taste. I agree. Jenny Marmion, Naps Rock.
Right?
Jennifer.
I don't even know what they're crying about.
Jennifer, I invested in a water cooler years ago. Have never regretted it. When I moved to Arizona, I got where I get the 5-gallon bottles, and I just had I don't know what you would call it.
The crock. It was like a tabletop cooler.
It was like a crock, yeah. Jenny, I drink tap water, but add Mio. Priscilla Vogue Brockman, I hope I'm saying that right. She uses Brita. Chris Schmidt, we have well water at my house. Most of the time it's okay, but my mom hates it. Let's see, over on...
I'm sorry, you guys. I probably could have had this done before we came on here tonight. Sorry.
The YouTubes.
The YouTubes.
Flea Dasani is delicious. Susan Steinberg Prentice, I like bubbly water. Ruru too. Arrowhead is like swamp water.
Oh my gosh.
It really also depends. How hot am I? How long have I been outside?
How desperate are you for water?
Yeah, I mean.
Yes.
Nancy Avalos, I use the filtered water from my fridge. Vogue, like the magazine without the U. Thank you, Priscilla. So it's Vogue.
Why is this taking so long to dry? Good night.
Angie likes Poland Spring the best. And Ruru too. Crystal Geyser has a picture of the mountain spring it comes from.
Is that really where it comes from?
Jeannie Henricks. There was a guy on TV who could identify the water from the 5 Great Lakes.
Oh,
crazy.
Wow. Just from tasting them?
Yeah. And Jennifer Stevers says, it's okay. You gave us time to complain about our water. Yeah, Flea Brown. Thankful we have choices of water.
This is true.
100%. Although Arizona, we may be living on bottled water pretty soon. We have water issues in this state. Gee, hard to believe a desert has water
issues, right? But just keep on building new houses. So I want to stencil. I want to show you guys. It's been a while since I've worked with the stencils, but I felt like this was a perfect size for a stencil project. So we have the nest, which is one of the options. You guys can tell I've used this one. It's been loved, right? The watering can is another one for choice. We could do the watering can and put some flowers in it. This one is actually my favorite, but it's more of a background, the Highland Farm stencil. I probably shouldn't stack them on top of each other, huh?
Nancy Avalos, we used to get Hawaii Isles water here in Hawaii, but they would always be inconsistent on deliveries. Yep. Our guy's a good guy. He's always nice and chatty, but it's not consistent.
Well, you just call him and tell him and he'll bring it.
I see him out, I wave.
No, but I mean, when he would forget about us, we would just call him. Like, we had an office full of ladies. We were bossy. And this is one of my well, they're all my favorites, but the paper doll. I don't know if you guys saw Lisa Lawrence did a project with her earlier this week. It was fabulous. And then the frame, which I thought that might be kind of dorky though, to put the frame into the frame. What I really want to use is one of these. And of course I couldn't find one I've used already. I don't know what I did. But I either want to use the urn or the cloche. I can't make up my mind which one I want to use.
You're not using the frame in the frame?
Huh?
You're not using the frame in the frame?
No, I don't want to use the frame in the frame.
Be like Inception.
Right? The frame in the frame in the frame. I could use...
I kind of like that.
The cloche.
Use the frame, and then you get a little smaller frame, and then in that real tiny frame, there's a little picture.
There's a little picture in there.
Jenny Marmion, the worst is when you use ice from the fridge and it sits in there too long, tastes like freezer water.
Yes.
we have an ice maker now in our fridge. We don't think about it until it makes noise.
I know. I actually use it for my iced coffee now.
Oh, do you?
Warm.
Good. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, for a couple of months, I was ready to do karate on somebody in the kitchen because the ice kept dropping.
Kathleen Hoovis, we're on a well. We have a reverse osmosis system.
Oh, those are nice.
Made all the difference. Otherwise, it was sulfur.
Yeah.
Jean Higginbotham, use them together. Maybe make the cloche shorter to fit. Vicky Moore says, love the cloche.
I do love this cloche. I do like the idea of making the cloche a little shorter. That's actually a really good idea. And you guys know I'm going to do it off center because I want to make sure we have enough height on the cloche though that it that I can actually put something in there. That would give me a lot of room in the cloche. So let's do that. I'm trying to figure out the good thing about the urn is that you can use it. I mean, I could use the whole thing, or I could cut it off here, or I could cut it off there. Like, no matter where you cut it off, it's kind of going to make sense. And so we're going to cut it off here. And so that way we still have the urn. But before I do that, I actually want to decoupage some background on here. So I just have, this one is the ephemera collage, and it's just random tidbits of ephemera, which are my favorite. But this sheet makes a really pretty background. And it's a little on the cool side, so I'm probably going to warm it up a little bit. Because I had brought out my, didn't I bring Kleenex? I probably forgot to bring it out, didn't I? Oh no, it's right here. I don't want to be sniffling in people's ears. That's just gross. So see, it's just a little ephemera. I think this will be a beautiful backdrop for our piece. And so I just got to figure out what I want to put. This is kind of nice, although I may shift my piece over this way if I do that so that this key is still here. I think that's what I'm going to do. That is what I'm going to do. I did want to talk to you guys about something while we work tonight. I know a lot of you have messaged me asking questions about it, but I have put the paper mache class on the calendar. And so I've already started working on the outline and the workbook for it. I haven't posted it yet, but you guys keep an eye out for it because I'm going to do a paper mache course, probably, I forgot the date. It's mid-June. I forgot the exact date, but it'll be going up soon. And if anybody is new on here and you guys haven't seen my madness, in my prior life, I used to build paper mache sculptures. And so this is one of my pieces. It's probably the only one that I have because I sold all the other ones. Oh no, I have two over there, huh? I have the bull and the deer head over there. But so I'm going to show you guys how to create paper mache sculptures. And it doesn't matter if you know how to sculpt or not. It doesn't matter. You know, you're going to be able to do more than you think you can. So keep an eye out for that class because I'm actually super excited now that I've started working on it. Okay, that's going to be a nice backdrop, right? Some script. I always like the handwriting, you know, like where someone's actually written and it's imperfect. So I am going to spray this paper first. David is leaving us for a little bit, just in case you guys wonder why it gets so quiet. I do love this paper. It's really versatile because you can use it with so many different things. And this is probably, when I was doing furniture, I was looking for decoupage paper. And in my mind, this is pretty much what I wanted to find. And of course, I didn't find it. So I ended up creating my own. But this is one of my favorites. Let me see, do I have a piece of saran wrap anywhere? I spritz my paper with water and I didn't wet it. And that's going to help my paper to pre-stretch so that I'll get less wrinkles. And there's, you guys, whenever you guys see me misting with this bottle, it's just water. That's all it is. And so when we're decoupaging and our paper wrinkles, the reason why is because the paper is stretching as you lay it down. So when you spray it ahead of time, you're essentially pre-stretching it, right? So that when you put your product down, now it's not going to activate. So it seems like I'm spraying a lot of water, but I'm really not because I'm using a misting bottle. So it's a really light spray, but it's enough so that I don't have to worry about wrinkles forming or my paper responding to my decoupage medium, which tonight I'm using Wise Owl's varnish. And I'm looking for saran wrap. George and I have been cleaning up the shop this week, and all I've done is moved everything where I can't find it because it's not clean yet. It's actually worse now than it was when we started. Sad, but true. But you guys know how it is, right? It gets worse before it gets better. Look, I'm gonna steal this piece of plastic off of this. And yes, I'm a hot mess. If you're new, I'm always a hot mess, just so you know. This is how it goes. So, I mean, I usually use saran wrap, but really any piece of plastic will work. And so I'm gonna put down my first row, and you guys know I like to call this my anchor row because this first row is gonna anchor my paper so that it doesn't shift side to side. And however I decide I wanna lay it on my surface, I know that it's gonna stay there. And so this just kind of sets the stage for the rest of it. And I'm working front to back, which is not natural for me, so. And the recycled decoupage paper is an 18-pound tissue. So it's tissue paper, like I cannot be like super rough with it, but you guys see, unlike when you use, say, a napkin, I'm able to have some versatility with my ability to move it around a little, right? And so it's not responding the way you guys are used to seeing it respond because I've already pre-stretched my paper. comment and concentrate at the same time. I miss my hubby when he's gone, but he'll be back. So if you ask a question and we didn't see it, David will scroll back. Okay. And again, I'm just using Wise Owl's varnish, but you can use any water-based varnish to decoupage with. And I like, you guys will notice I'm holding my paper up and I'm pushing from one side to the other side. That's to ensure that I don't get any kind of air bubbles or anything under there, so that I don't end up with extra like ripples or wrinkles. And I'm not always like looking for a perfect finish with my decoupage, but I know that that's super important for a lot of you. So I always try to go over the steps that help me get a wrinkle-free finish. And when I'm putting my product on, I always look from the side. When you look from the side, after you put your product on, if there's any area that's still matte or that's still dry, there's either no product or not enough product in that place. And so often people will message me and say, I have a bubble right in the middle of my decoupage. It's probably because there wasn't any or there wasn't enough product. Like, even when you brush your product on and you think you've covered the whole surface, you'd be amazed at how you can miss a spot so easily when you're decoupaging. Yeah, this is the Ephemera Collage recycled decoupage paper. And it is super pretty. There's so many interesting pieces in it. This one is fun because I can use it like this, right, on a large surface, but there's all kinds of yumminess, so I could cut this out and use it on multiple smaller crafts as well. And all of our favorite things, right? Crowns, keys, bees, script, honeycomb, stamps, all the things on one piece of paper. Yes, I always use a matte finish. That's just my preference. But if you prefer, you know, a shinier surface, you can, because it is literally a matter of preference, right? So if you like for your pieces to be shinier, you would prefer a satin or even a high gloss, you just use a high gloss products. I just always use matte because it's my personal preference. I have one more section and I want to make sure, I feel like I did. I missed a whole swab. And it's hard to tell when you're putting it on. You think you've covered everything, but, and sometimes you may have some product, but you may not have enough. And you can tell that when you look at it from the side too. And all this plastic does is help reduce the friction. My paper is drying out, so I'm gonna miss that again. All this does is help to reduce the friction so that I'm less likely to tear my paper when I'm manipulating it. That's it. And I was impatient, so I got a couple of ripples right there, but. And that's it. So I'm gonna go over this really quickly and seal the top. And the reason that I wanna seal it is because we're gonna be doing some things over the top of this paper. And if I don't seal it, so let's say I wanted to go over this with some color and I wanted it to absorb into the paper, then I would not seal it first, right? But I like to seal my paper back before I start layering on top of it because I feel like it gives me options. If I do something and I don't like it, it's easier for me to wipe it off if I've sealed my paper. My paper is going to react less if it's sealed back. And so when I'm doing a layered piece, I always like to just do a good job sealing that base decoupage layer so that I have more freedom to work over the top of it. And so I'm just going to use my dryer and dry this really quickly. Let me take a look at comments here on Facebook. Hey, Shirley. Jenny's asking me if I prefer 1R enamel or varnish. Honestly, Jenny, I prefer 1R enamel most of the time, especially if I'm doing like layered pieces. And honestly, this is probably 1R enamel is probably what's in this bottle because that's generally what I have on my table. But the varnish is still a good option as well. I just find that the 1R enamel, I think because it's self-leveling and it leaves like a really smooth finish, that the transfers stick to it so readily. And so that's why I like to use the 1R enamel. Hey, Dorothy. I know, Lisa, plenty of laughter over here. We're a hot mess. Shannon's asking if this is part of the most recent release. No, this is actually an older design, Shannon. I think it's a couple of years old. You know how sometimes we forget about the ones that came before. Oh, you're welcome, Flea. It makes a big difference. It's kind of crazy. Because when I taught my decoupage boot camp, I taught you guys how to spray around the edges so that you wouldn't get those like weird tension spots, right? But then, you know, it's like, well, if that part stretches, then maybe all of the paper will stretch. So I'm thinking about doing a second boot camp because even though it's been almost 2 years since I taught that first boot camp, you guys, isn't that crazy? Even though I've already taught it, I've learned new things since I taught that class. Because that was in November of 22, I believe, is when I taught, or 21, when I taught that decoupage boot camp initially. Although you can take the decoupage boot camp, it's available at Royce Academy. And I have finally hired help because, you know, apparently there's a finite amount of time and energy that I have. I'm just now figuring that out at 53. And so my VA has done a really good job of chopping the videos into smaller, shorter videos. They're all still there, but instead of watching a big old 1 hour and a half video, you can watch them in like 20 or 25 minutes at a time.
Swanky Vintage with Carol asks, when is IOD releasing the spring pieces?
We don't know yet. So they've released them to us and we've seen them, but we haven't gotten a date for when they're actually going to release yet. You guys, I know that it feels like everything is back to normal, but supply and demand, I mean, the supply chains are still wonky because I'm finalizing things for my launch coming up. And, you know, I can't even give my retailers a date because there's just so many things that we have to consider. So it won't be launched to you guys probably for another month or so, but the retailers will get to see them soon.
Lee Brown says, yes, another boot camp. And Tammy Valoni says she also liked the leather look. That one needs an update, doesn't it?
Maybe. We're working on that one too. So if you took the leather look and you signed up for the VIP, I apologize that it hasn't been available on your app. My VA is, I think she either has gotten all of the videos uploaded or they should be uploaded by early next week. She did the same thing for that class. So instead of you guys having, you know, an hour and a half long video, she's chopping them down to shorter videos. And she's organizing the course so that it'll match your workbooks. So like chapter 1, you know, we had the basics, you know, we had some things we went over. And so you'll have the chapter and then you'll have each of the sections in the chapter broken down by video. So I'm working on getting that done and getting that posted for you guys. So if you wanted to go back and review, and obviously your year will start when the course becomes available on the app. So I have help, y'all. So this next course will be a lot better because Brenda's going to be in the background helping me get things done. I'm so excited. I'm good at making stuff, but not at technology. You can't be good at everything, right?
So can I ask you a question that's unrelated?
Sure.
So yesterday I abandoned Royce.
He abandoned me, you guys. He ran away.
I offered.
I know. I had stuff to do, though.
And I went to Tombstone. There was a paranormal convention there. Ooh. And a couple of vendors that had been at my comic convention were there. So I went to say hi and to see if there's anybody else that might be relatable for us. Yes. I found one. It was my first time in Tucson. I've driven through, Tombstone.
Can you mute my mic real quick while you tell the story? Because I got to blow my nose.
Sure. Let's see.
Thank you.
Let's see if that, there you go. Yeah, you're muted.
Are you sure?
Yes, ma'am. So I went to, I've driven through Tombstone before, but I've never been in Tombstone before.
Okay.
And the one thing I discovered is it's a tourist place.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I don't have a problem with it. But I was a little disappointed by that. I was hoping for something a little different, but I didn't know what. So to me it was the Wild West version of the Wisconsin Dells.
Oh.
So my question to everybody is, what's your touristy place?
Oh, like what's a touristy place in their area?
Yeah, in their area, because we have people from all over the world.
I know, because people will ask me, "Oh, you're from Arizona? Have you been to Tombstone?" No, not in a long time. I
went. I didn't do any of the touristy stuff, mainly because you weren't there. So I'm not going to go into a restaurant or Big Nose Kate's Saloon. I don't want to sit there alone. I'd rather go with you.
Oh,
I don't mind eating alone, but I'd rather not. So I'm just curious what people are saying.
Bye, Flea.
Yeah, Flea's going to help people prepare for a wedding.
We'll hear more later.
Yeah. So I'm just curious. Like I say, in Illinois, we knew about the Wisconsin Dells. It is as tourist trappy as you're going to find.
Tourist trappy?
That said, I've had great times in the Wisconsin Dells.
Yes.
Had a lot of fun. I remember most of it.
You remember most of it?
There was one night where things get sketchy. So I'm just curious if what's your place and what makes it so touristy. I was just shocked at the whole stretch of their Main Street. I don't know what it's called. Was so touristy.
Yeah. And
it's like, wow, this is literally living history. And it's the only thing that was missing was a carnival barker. And quite honestly, they had barkers.
Oh.
The last shootout's going to take place in just 15 minutes. Yeah. You don't want to miss it.
Yes.
So
it's the whole Wild West experience, baby.
Let's see. All right. Diane Fanning says Salem, Massachusetts. Really? Salem is touristy now? Oh, that's a shame.
Is it like witchies? I'm curious as to what the...
Yeah. Lisa Vansel says Mackinac Island, Michigan. I know of Mackinac. I've never been. So Mackinac is no motorized vehicles. Is there electricity on Mackinac? I'm not sure.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's just the rule on Mackinac. Swanky Vintage with Carol. In my backyard, it's Hershey Park. But isn't that because the Hershey... Oh,
is that in San Francisco?
No, Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay. Well, because there's Hershey's in San Francisco, too.
Oh, okay. Linda Baker says Niagara Falls. Kathleen O'Brien Hoovis, House on the Rock, Wisconsin. I'll be honest, I don't know that one. Pam Knight, Yuma Territorial Prison. Really?
Really?
I've been to Yuma, but I've never been there.
People want to see a prison?
I'm just thinking like whole towns where it's just built on tourism. So
I want to do texture now. Now I'm mad at myself. Let me look over here in my ridiculous stash and see if I have one of my texture designs that I can use for my urn.
Let's see. Dorothy Lage, Tombstone, which we're discussing. Bisbee and Jerome.
I think Bisbee, though, is not just tourist. Like, it is, but it's not like Tombstone.
And she mentioned Sedona, too, for the woo-woo yoo-hoos. I'll be honest, both Bisbee and Sedona, though, are populated by people who are into art.
Yes.
To the point where you sit there and roll your eyes sometimes.
I love Bisbee.
Whereas Tombstone just feels...
Well, I mean, if you like Wild Wild West, I think maybe those places don't feel so touristy to you.
Tombstone
because
doesn't...
it's not your thing.
But Tombstone doesn't feel like... Because we've been around the cowboy poets and stuff like that. Those are people that really care about the heritage, and the history. This feels like, give me your money.
Oh. Give me your lunch money. Sorry. No.
Let's see, over on the YouTubes. Angie Champagne says Lake Placid, New York. All right. I wouldn't have thought that. Ruru 2 on between Lake Tahoe and Sacramento. I had a friend who worked the tourism agency for Lake Tahoe. He wanted people to come, but he promoted it as real nature stuff.
Yeah. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to find me a texture, and my textured paper is the only paper I'm not seeing, of course.
All right, now here's one that so this is why I asked. Susan Steinberg Prentice, Mystic, Connecticut. What is it about Mystic that makes it touristy? Because I've never heard of the town. I'm curious. Like Niagara Falls, I know it's the falls. It separates America and Canada. It's where the ending for Die Hard 3 took place. That's the important part.
Let's try this. Sorry, go ahead, baby.
No, that's okay.
No, I'm over here searching. I was just going to do it on the paper, but then now I want something extra. So what do you guys think? I mean, it's corrugated metal, but I think it's a cool texture. What would it look like this way?
Tammy Maybe says, Austin, home of live music. I hate going downtown, especially after Memorial Weekend through Labor Day weekend. I get that. I lived in Havasu. That's all water traffic from California. Every weekend is jam-packed. I get that. But at least you got good music. I mean, seriously, Austin is like Nashville for pop.
Okay.
And I'm like, I get the touristy part, but at least it doesn't feel, I mean, from the outside looking in. I was going to say
from the outside looking in, maybe it doesn't feel, but how does it feel for the people who live there, though?
Vintage Retail Therapy by Mara says, hey, smells delicious in Hershey.
Chocolate.
Swanky Vintage with Carol says she was a taste tester for Hershey.
Ooh.
And Corey Christensen said she was born in Bisbee.
We're going to have to go to Temecula, baby. I think we need to travel next year and go see people.
Dorothy Lage, Tombstone Gunfighters reminds me of the guys with the girly cards in Vegas. Yes.
The girly cards?
Thank you. That's what.
The ones who like chase you down and try to give you those.
Yo, come on, man. And yes. I think they used to do the same thing on 42nd Street in New York before it got cleaned up and Disneyfied.
Before it got Disneyfied, is that what you said?
You won't believe these girls. Come on in, brother. No, I'll believe them, and no. Thank you. Jackson Hole, Wyoming was a major tourist spot, Kathleen Hoover says. Lots of cowboy stuff, bar stools that are saddles, overpriced everything.
That's usually the case for anywhere touristy.
Yeah.
And tourism can be good for the local economy, right? I don't think anybody argues that. But I think the piece that a lot of people don't talk about is that those jobs that are created by tourism are not the kind of jobs that sustain families.
So I sit on our tourism committee with our chamber. I love tourism, but I'm the first to say, never make it your primary economic driver.
Yeah.
Because you will suffer. Gas prices go up, your business goes away.
Yeah.
That's just reality.
Well, that's what anything.
Dorothy Lage. Yeah, but tourism feels it immediately.
Immediately, because it's something that's not like
Because people
necessary.
say, do we take the family trip? Well, if gas is $5 a gallon, we'll do something here at home.
Like it is in Phoenix right now.
It really is, yeah.
$5.29 in Phoenix.
Dorothy Lage asks, are you going to have new stencils with your release?
I won't have new stencils with the release, but we'll have new stencils though. I'm working on them. There's only one of me, Dorothy.
Susan Boehner Whitmore Glazer live in one of the German towns in Texas, New Braunfels. We have something called Wurst Fest in November every year. German food, music, WUR.
Oh, like Wurst.
Yeah,
Fest.
like Wurst.
I thought she said Worst Fest. I was going to say,
Yeah.
oh, that doesn't sound fun.
German food, music, etc. Lots of beer. Brings in lots of tourists. Summertime, we have tourists coming to tube in the rivers. See, that feels authentic, though. If you're a
Yes.
German
Ooh.
town, I'm okay with that.
Yes.
Tommy Quiroz, Estes Park, Colorado. Entry to Rocky Mountain National Park. Okay. Pat Reed, this is on Facebook. Can't hear you very well. Yeah, we don't have a mic for Facebook tonight. Sorry, Pat.
Facebook doesn't like me tonight, Pat. So if you want to hop over to YouTube, we're over there too. The sound is better because I'm connected to the mic.
Oh, Mystic, Connecticut is where Mystic Pizza is based.
Oh.
I've never seen it. Cannot say.
You guys, I wanted to have my urn have texture, and so I'm cheating and I'm using a piece of the corrugated metal decoupage paper, which doesn't seem like it should go in an urn, but I think it's really pretty. Sorry. And so I'm just going to use some heat to set that ink so that when I decoupage my urn, it doesn't, my ink doesn't run all over the place.
The Corn Palace, this is Jeannie Henricks. The Corn Palace in Mitchell, South Dakota. Very few redeeming qualities. See, I would have thought where Rushmore is.
Oh, Mount Rushmore, that there would be like little
More
mini
touristy,
Rushmores and
yeah.
hotels and
So, Mystic, Connecticut has old shipyards, aquarium, very expensive tourist. Okay. Yeah, it just feels the word you used.
icky.
The word you used before when we were discussing tourism, was people, but especially younger people, 40 and under, want authentic.
Yes.
And I walked away from Tombstone yesterday feeling inauthentic.
Yeah. It was just too over the top.
It kind of was. So, Shannon Booth, my daughter and her boyfriend are on a month-long move from Washington State to Florida. They're visiting all kinds of touristy towns between here and there. Some photos so far have been pretty funny. Now, that sounds fun to me.
Yeah.
Going to the inauthentic places, ironically.
Ironically.
So, Chris Schmidt says the urn looks great on the corrugated metal paper.
Thank you, Chris.
Jean Higginbotham, love the paper for the urn.
And you know what I really wanted to use was the textures paper, because there's the rust side that looks really pretty. But I didn't really plan, so I'm kind of working off the cuff here. In case you guys probably noticed that already, though, huh?
So just talking out loud. Talked to a couple people from Tombstone who were there for Paranormal Con.
Yeah.
Not for the Wild West stuff, which again was a very odd juxtaposition, but apparently that's going to be more of a thing in the evenings.
Oh, the paranormal stuff?
Yeah, where they're going to go to the old buildings and see if there are ghosts. And,
Oh.
I mean,
When I went to Savannah, they have like a walk that you go to, and they take you to all the places in town that are supposed to be haunted. Baby, you know I didn't go. I don't play around with ghosts.
yeah, I'm not interested.
I just don't play. People be messing around. You be on, I ain't trying to bring nothing home with me. No.
Ruru2 wants to know, did you use IOD ink?
I did. Sorry you guys, I'm not doing a good job. I'm actually instructing tonight. I used Iron Orchid Design ink for this one, and I used I didn't want to use jet black. This one is stone gray, so it's just a dark gray. So it gives me the detail of the stencil without eliminating, the texture of the paper. And then the blender that I use is just a beauty blender. And I have them in my Amazon store if you guys are interested in them. They're really inexpensive. If you put hashtag Amazon on Facebook, you can get the link to that. And I need to figure out how to do something for YouTube too, so you guys can get the information. I'll post it in the comments after we're done here if you guys are really interested.
In the description.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. Gene Henricks, Mount Rushmore, the Black Hills have many good quality places to see. Some tourist traps, but not bad.
That.
All right. See, that's using what you got. I'm okay with that.
I feel like I need to put a little bit more heat on here. I'm so happy with this. If this runs when I decoupage it, I'm gonna be heartbroken. So I'm gonna put a little bit more heat on this ink just to make sure that it's really good and sets.
Liz Clark says gray has been her go-to ink for a while, just softer.
Yeah, it's softer, right? And you can build it up if you want it to be darker, but it's not super stark like the black.
And Sherry Martin says she doesn't do demons either.
Girl, I ain't playing around. People be playing.
So Jan Kilborn asks, do you believe in ghosts?
Yes.
I'm a ghost agnostic.
Are you a ghost agnostic? I just feel like there is nothing in this universe that is destroyed. Energy transfers. Even if you burn up something, it didn't disappear. You just have ashes now, right?
Yeah.
And so I just feel like, I don't know. So I think that, yeah, there could be. And don't even get me started because I'm scary, y'all. I don't even like watching movies about ghostesses. No. But the ladies they went on, it was like at night, and they walking around Georgia. Looking for ghosts, looking for trouble. No, ma'am. No, thank you. No. So if I were to decoupage this directly onto here, what's going to happen is this paper is going to become really transparent, and all of the writing underneath it is going to show through the paper, which could be a cool vibe, right? If that's what I wanted. But I think I really want this to stand out against the writing. And so I'm going to go over the back of it with some paint. So this is the steps that I take. And it's funny because everyone has a different approach. So I'm just showing you guys what I do, but it isn't the only way to do it, right? I am so sorry.
Vintage Retail Therapy by Mara says there's an entire spiritual realm happening around us. We just don't see it.
I'm with you, Mara. And I ain't trying to invite nobody to my house, to my person. I don't want there, so I don't mess around. So when you spritz your paper, it creates like a suction, and so you guys will see that my paper is not going to come off of here, right? And it's stretching as well. When the paper gets wet, it starts to stretch, and so I'm going to go ahead and just stretch it on this piece of paper and pull out any wrinkles ahead of time. And years ago, I did a double live with Miss Paint-A-Lot, Fiona, remember? And she taught me this trick.
Angie Champagne says, thought you wanted to not cover the key.
Oh, I know, huh, Angie? Thank you. Okay, we're going to shift to over here. Thank you, Angie. Although, that's going to, you know what, though? Okay, let's talk about, what's where I'm looking for? Composition for a second. Because I thought I did not want to cover that key. But if I put it over here, I feel like it knocks my composition off a little bit. And when I put stuff up here, I don't know if I'm going to like that. I think that I'm going to end up covering the key so that I can spill stuff over, and my eye is going to have a place to rest here and here. So I said I wanted to keep that key, but now looking through the camera, I like the composition better without the key. But thank you, though, for reminding me. I appreciate that because I did forget. And I don't have any. I am so fired. I'm firing myself all the time, y'all. And it's because I didn't know exactly what I was going to do as part of my problem. Let's see if I can use this guy. I don't know if this is even going to help me get this open. I wish my husband could turn off my mic because I need to blow my nose. I'm sorry, you guys. Okay, I have some bone right here. Bone is like a really super light gray. So I'll use this. It's light enough to do what I wanted because all my whites are empty and dried out. And I'm going to paint right out of my can. You guys just look away. Don't do what I do. Okay? Because I just need a little bit. So I'm going to squirt a little bit of my, I'm not sure what's in this bottle, but my clear coat in here. And then I'm going to put some paint. And I want it to be about a 50-50 mixture is what I like to use of paint and varnish. And I'm going to paint this on the back of my paper. And I'm going to put a little bit more water to make sure that it doesn't start coming off of my paper. Because I'm taking a little longer than I normally do. I want to make sure it sticks to my paper so I have the freedom to adjust it. Get ready to lay it down. And so I'm just going to paint the back of this. And I like to leave about 1/4 of an inch along the edge because this is going to smush out a little bit when I lay it down. Good night. I'm sorry, you guys. I've been battling, I don't know what it is, if it's a cold, if it's allergies, but all week this week. I do not have time for this week. And David had to run out again, so he'll be back. It gets so quiet when he leaves. That's right. I don't mess around because I don't know who's over there and what they're trying to do. So I just stay over here on my side. But the ladies went walking and looking at graves and stuff. That is not for me. My best friend was here visiting from Georgia, and we were laughing about how scary we are. Because nobody told me that I Am Legend was going to be a zombie movie. I was mad when I went to go see it. Okay. So now that I have that, I'm going to wipe this top part right here because I got some paint where I didn't want it. If there are any questions, you guys, David will look at them when he gets back. I apologize. And I'm going to cover up my key. I went through all that trouble to keep it, just to cover it up. But you guys see how the paper is sticking to my clear paper? So it kind of gives me the freedom to be able to decide. And I'm going off edge on purpose because I don't want it to be centered. And I'm just going to rub that down. And this plastic is just like a piece of plastic from my decoupage paper. I like to use a stick plastic because it's not going to wrinkle with the paper. And that way I create, and another way that I could have done it too is I could have just stenciled my background, right? And then with paint it white inside the stencil and then decoupage my paper right over the top. That would have been another way I could have done it as well. Just make sure I don't have any questions over there. And so I can tell I have some areas on my edges that are lifting up a little bit. And I'm going to go over and just seal this whole thing. I'm going to go underneath my edges and make sure, right, that they're going to be tacked down really well. And then whenever I'm layering my decoupage like this, you guys, I always go over the entire surface. I feel like if I just go over this urn, you're going to be able to tell that there's a difference in the sheen of the surface, and it just looks like I just kind of put an urn there. So even though I've only just decoupaged the urn, I'm actually going to seal the entire piece together again so that I have like a consistent sheen across the whole piece. And I'm not going to be able to finish this tonight, am I? We're going to have to finish this next week. Dag nabbit. I'll still post a picture of the frame, kind of the behind the scenes, so you guys can see how we built it. But I won't be able to include this part because I'm not finished yet. I always think I'm going to be able to do more than I can in the time that we have together. Okay, so I just really love that gray of that corrugated metal with the urn. I didn't expect that. Sometimes it's nice to just pull your supplies out and just work off the cuff because you discover that you would have never planned to use this if I was like planning this out. I don't think I would have chosen this if I wasn't desperate for something. But now that I've chosen it, I actually really like it. It is 6:20 already. How does time go by so fast? You guys are making me old. Time always goes by faster when I'm hanging out with you. Better late than never. Oh, you're fine. Lavender and Grace. Hello, hello. Hey, Tammy, thank you. Sherry, did you just pop back on? And for those of you, I don't know why, but I'm having, issues streaming to Facebook from my app that I use. And so we're using 2 different devices. So we're looking a little different tonight. It's 9:20 real time. I might argue that we're on real time. Of course, we're the only ones who are not moving around. So I might argue that we're on real time. And so just to recap what I did, I took the corrugated metal decoupage paper and I used my blender and some ink. And I did my stencil over the paper, just out and put it over the top of my background. Actually, I think we probably can get a lot. Should we do the urn? I feel like I just want to do some flowers now. Or should I put the cloche over the top? What do you guys think? You guys help me decide. I am, Sherry. I'm in stereo. And I'm not seeing any comments from YouTube. That's worrying me. If you're on YouTube, can you just say, hey, how you doing? Last week, only 10 minutes of my video actually went to YouTube. I'm not sure what happened to the YouTubes, as my husband says. I am not seeing comments from YouTube. That's weird. And so I'll just trim this piece off with my sanding block. I mean, and you could put it dead center if you want. I just like things off center. It's a personal preference, much like I like things matte. But I know for some people, symmetry is super important. So when you create the way you like. That's the good thing about making your own decor, right? Is you get to make it exactly the way you like it. This little edge is popping up. So I'm just going to go under it with some products. And put it back down. We're almost done, babe. I cannot believe the evening is gone already. I know. I feel like we started. It's because I didn't know what I was going to do. So I think that's super pretty so far. So did we decide cloche or no cloche? I don't know. I don't think I've seen any votes. So when we first started, we said we're going to put the cloche over the top of this. My
Kathleen
voice is
Hoovis says no cloche.
My voice is leaving me.
But Swanky Vintage with Carol says, love the urn and the cloche together.
I know.
Lynette Myers, Susan Stocking, Bo, and Liz Clark say flowers. There you go.
I know. Do you see comments on YouTube, babe? Because I'm not seeing any.
I do. Ann Cook says flowers, please. Susan Steinberg Prentice, Ruru 2 says flowers. Angie says just flowers. Michelle Villalobos says cloche. So, yeah.
I'm feeling like flowers. I know I said I was going to use the cloche too, and you can absolutely use the cloche on top of there. And then we have to we'd be stuck putting stuff in the cloche. And for some reason, I want stuff that's going to kind of spill over a little bit. So I'm going to have to find flowers now, though.
I don't think the cloche is, I think flowers. I think.
Yeah, I've done the cloche with the urn, and it's beautiful. And I'm sure a lot of the ladies here saw the piece that Lynn did, where she put the butterflies inside the cloche like a scientific study. You guys know I love that piece, right? So I have my stash of... I'm rolling over bubble wrap over here. Of transfer pieces. So let's see what I can find. Can you guys tell I love Lexi's transfer? I have like 2 of them in here. Oh my gosh. Can you turn my mic off, Daddy?
You're off. Oh, but they can hear you through mine.
Can they?
Yeah, well,
we're hear it like in their ear. Okay.
Yeah, no, it would blow people out. It would.
Yeah, I don't want to be blowing my nose in people's earlobes. Okay, so we have. I don't know if I have like a cluster. My favorite transfer to use with these is the Floral Anthology, just because of this cluster right here is like almost perfect. So let's see. Because I want to use this one because it's super pretty, but I don't think, maybe I'll still use like a bird or something from here. We'll see. I'm going to set that aside for just a minute. Is there a such thing as having too many craft supplies? Is that a thing, you guys? Because I feel like it might be a thing for me. I feel like this cluster right here, I know that it fits the bushel like super perfect, but I think it would look really pretty here too. Oh, that is going to be fabulous. Okay, let's trim off our little extra bits. And of course I'm going to go off edge, which you guys know is my thing. So let's trim these. I never throw away these bits because I will use them for something.
Lavender and Gray says a nest maybe in a bird.
Ooh, that would be pretty too. Inside of the cloche.
No, with flowers surrounding it.
That would be pretty. But I'm like feeling this right here.
And Shaz says the nest would be fab. Ann Cook says love the flower spill idea.
Yeah, I am just like really feeling this right here, and even having it spill over the top of the urn a little bit. I think it's gonna be really pretty. I'm feeling that right there, you guys. And we can finish this too. If I do this, we'll actually finish before we go off tonight. Of course, I'll probably go in and add some more stuff, like put maybe something that's fallen down here on the bottom. But I gotta find my transfer stick. Maybe I have one in this bag. I am such a mess. I'm a bigger mess today than usual though. Because we're like halfway through cleaning. Oh, I could put a nest down here on the bottom, huh? Let me get the flowers on. Is there a nest in this one, in the Whispering Willow? There isn't. But I do have my nest stencil, though, that I could use. There's some really cute birds in here, though. I'll probably put a bird from the Whispering Willows onto my project. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to find a stick. And then I dropped one of my containers today. And I had some sticks in here, I know.
Ann Pierce, no way having too many craft supplies is not a thing.
Right?
Kathleen Hoovis, but you'll lose the pretty metal part of the urn.
I won't lose all of it. It looks like it because you can see the white here, but I'm being pretty cautious about how it's going to sit on there. I want the rose to come over the top of the urn, and this is going to spill over the top, but it'll peek through here a little bit. So there'll still be a lot of the urn that'll still show, even though we're doing the flowers over the top, I think, if I'm careful. So let's see. Let me move. I have too much going on over here, y'all. Imagine that, me having too much going on. So let's take the backing. I kind of don't want to waste this though if I don't have to. We'll see. We shall see what happens. So if we do it like this.
You are at 6:30.
Okay. We got to do the transfer there, baby.
I'm just saying.
I know. So if I do it like that, we'll still get to keep a lot of that urn. I wish I got to keep more of the lip of that urn though. So let's twist it a wee bit. And the decision's been made. She's going down. And actually, I don't want to waste this. Look, I'm so stingy. I don't want to waste this. So I'm going to cut this off and put the backing paper back on it. Because that's a big old chunk of flour. I can use that for something else. And what I'll do is I'll just lay it on the backing paper for now, but I'll tape those together so that they stay together later, and I'll stick them somewhere. Waste not, want not, right? I am sad that that little one I won't get, but there are some separate ones that I can put on there. So whenever I have a large transfer like this, sometimes they call it riding the wave. If you push it, it kind of pops off. You have to be careful though, because you can misalign your transfer when you do it, but it is a way to do it faster. And you hear that little cracking sound? That's the transfer releasing from the backing paper. It is a beautiful sound.
That tingle means it's working.
Exactly. That's why they put like mint in toothpaste, so people could think it was working.
I've heard, I have nothing to back it up,
You've heard.
that toothpaste is actually unnecessary other than adding fluoride.
Yes.
That it's the actual act of brushing.
Yes.
And the only reason they made toothpaste was
To get people to brush.
to get people to brush. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it's like washing your hands without soap, though. I mean, you could argue that friction is how you really get germs off of your hands, but you need the soap to make the germs like water soluble so they'll come off.
But you want some bacteria in your mouth.
Oh, you still have
Some.
plenty.
The right ones.
All right. Look at that, you guys. Oh, I just love that so much. Sorry. I shouldn't love my own project that much, but I'm going to put this little guy right here since it didn't come off over there. This little rose right here. And with the floral anthology, you do get like these little pieces so that you can go back in and really like, you know, add to your final composition. And I'll probably be doing this forever, so we're gonna stop now. Because I'll probably be adding little flowers. And although I want to do one more thing, babe, and then we'll go. There's this little sweet little leaf right here. And we're going to add it to the bottom as if it's fallen off of our piece. And I can still like kind of have like an idea of where it's going to cut off. So I'm going to make sure and put it above that So when I put it in my frame, and I think this is about perfect for this frame, right? And so a lot of times when we make pieces like this, a lot of questions I get are, okay, like you've made this beautiful thing. What are you going to do with it? And so when you're in the thrift store and you see a beautiful ornate frame, you can cut out a piece of like thin wood or even cardboard, and you can make your own art, you guys. And then we can frame this. Let's get our frame. I actually finished a project, baby.
Yay.
Yay. We did start a few minutes late. So, what side am I opening on here? This magnet fools me because it holds on to it so tight. So I can drop this into my frame, and I think that it's going to be the perfect piece of art, especially because this frame is like super ornate. And the cool thing is I can swap this out whenever I want. But what do you guys think? I'm going to flick paints. That would not be a good idea. So let me get it in the frame. What do you guys think? Yes? I vote yes. I think it's beautiful in this frame, right? I love it. So I'll take a picture of this. I'll hang this frame up because I think I'm going to leave the frame gold. I'm probably going to, I don't even know. I'm mixed about whether or not I want to brighten up this fabric part or if I want to leave it looking kind of old. What do you think, babe?
I think it needs a mold. I think it needs a 3-dimensional piece.
What, the actual art piece?
Yeah, the art piece. Because there's, what, 3... Well, what would you call that? It's, you know, when...
I don't know.
The edge is higher than the middle, which is higher than the part next to the art on the frame. Not every frame's like that. I'm looking at your 4 squares up there, and it's literally one dimension.
Yes.
Whereas there's multiple dimensions here.
On this frame.
So I think a 3-dimensional piece to the artwork would help.
Do you guys agree with David? Do you guys think I need a 3-dimensional? Look at my little sweet leaf that fell right there. Sorry. You guys think I need a 3-dimensional element to add to the piece? Can you turn it around? Yes, I can turn it around. Oh, I know it's upside down for you guys, huh? So let's turn it around for our Facebook folks. I think that came out so pretty. And so imagine
I'm not saying it's not pretty. It feels like it
needs something.
It feels like it needs a 3-dimensional piece just because of the depth of that frame.
Okay. I think...
Creative home decor. No.
They agree with me, baby.
Swanky.
I don't know. Do you guys think I should like glaze it? It seems like it's a little stark next to the frame, maybe. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Maybe tint the fabric. That's what I was thinking about, tinting the fabric. I'm not sure because I can either glaze the piece to make it feel warmer or I can tint this to make it a little bit brighter. But then it might feel stark against the gold. I don't know. But like, how fun is this? So I can put this up in my living room. This is a piece of art that's in there right now. If I get bored with this, I can replace it with another piece. And I have a shelf behind it where I can hide my stuff. I don't know what stuff I'm going to hide in here, but I can. And like I said, there are pegs in here and there's shelves that I have them taped to the bottom so that I can move these shelves wherever I like, whatever makes sense, depending on what I'm going to put in here. But I could like use this in the bathroom, like I said, and put a mirror, and it'd be a really cool medicine cabinet too.
So we got a lot of no Daves, which is fine. Tint the fabric, no frame, pig stands alone.
Oh, a dragonfly moment.
Lavender and gray says maybe a little gold in the picture.
Yeah, I actually have some pins, some metallic pins, so I could go in and add some,
or gold leaf
highlights in there.
Creative home decor, or hearts decor suggests gold leaf.
I could use some gold leaf.
Let's see. I like the outer part of the frame matches the one flower. Maybe glaze the paper.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, to glaze it so it doesn't seem so bright against the gold.
Yeah. So, and Shaz Conabeer wants to copy this concept.
Oh, absolutely. And it's not copying, it's inspiration. That's what we're calling it.
Angie says it appears 3D with the layers of paper and flowers. That's what made me think that when you tilted it, there was a little bit, especially on YouTube more than on Facebook, it caught a shadow and it gave it almost a three-dimensional look as you were turning it.
And I could go in like visually, and for those of you who took the Stencil Lab class, you guys know this. I could go in and add some shadow to kind of lend that idea of depth too, which I'm going to go in and monkey with it. You guys know I am. You guys know I'm not going to just leave it. I can't do it. So I'll probably glaze it just to warm it up a little bit, add some shadow on the urn and some of the flowers. I like the idea of adding a little gold. I have some gold pens, so I can go in and do some really pretty line work, maybe on the dots of some of the flowers or something. But when I finish, and I'm going to finish this one, for real. I'm going to finish it. I know I always say that, but I am. I'm going to finish it, and then I will post it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this craft tonight. I don't feel like I did a lot of teaching because I was kind of working through it myself. You guys got to come into my brain for a little bit. That can be a crazy place, I know. But I think that's all we have tonight, unless you guys have any more questions. For anybody who's new and you're looking for Royce decoupage paper, I do not sell directly because I don't like competing with my retailers. But if you go on roycycled.com, you can find more decoupage paper designs, and you can also find the retailers who carry them. So you guys can find the paper there.
Or if you come to Safford.
If you come to Safford, I do carry stuff at Copper and Cotton, downtown Safford. If you're coming to Safford to buy something specific, please message me so I can make sure that I have it in the shop for you guys, because I hate for somebody to drive, because generally, you know, like I had the one customer who drove from Phoenix to come and shop, and so she contacted me and I made sure that I ended up meeting her there at the shop, which was kind of cool. Her and her husband were nice.
I say that because Trisha Garrett was watching.
Oh, okay. Trisha Garrett?
Who owns Copper and Cotton.
Yes,
so
she is the owner of Copper and Cotton. It's a gorgeous store if you've ever been there. But I think that's it.
I think that's it.
All
Keep an
righty.
eye out for the paper mache class coming soon.
Paper mache class coming soon, you guys. So keep an eye out for that. I'm like super stoked about it. I was stressed out about teaching it, and now that I've started working on the outline and stuff, I think because I can see how to teach it. Sometimes I stress out because you guys, if you guys have ever been in my classes, you guys know, like, I want to give you guys all the things. And sometimes that's not the best way to do it. And I'm not saying you guys won't learn a lot in this class, because there's going to be a lot of information, but I'm trying to really streamline it so that it can be useful to you guys and you guys can like retain it and be able to use it. And of course, same as always, we'll have, there'll be a group where we can interact live in the group. Some of the portions of the course is going to be pre-recorded. Some portions will be live just because of the nature of of paper mache. There's like drying time involved, and so I'm going to organize the class a little differently. It'll be once a week instead of like 5 days in a row. But we're going to walk through and do a project together, and it does not matter if you think that you can make a form or not. I promise you guys, I'm going to give you major hacks, and you're going to be able to make beautiful stuff in my course. So,
Lisa Mansell, I would faint if I ran into you and David in person. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't.
You're like, oh, that's it? That's all. No, you know what you would say? You're taller than I thought you'd be. I get that a lot.
I've had at least 3 people say, you don't sound this tall on the radio.
They just have a picture in their mind.
They do, and that's okay.
Yeah, at the IOD conference, I heard that all week. You're taller than I thought you'd be. I know. But thank you guys so much. And as always, you guys know there isn't anything that I've done here today that you guys cannot absolutely do for yourself. Melissa, I'll have it up soon. I'm just giving you guys a prequel, but I'll have it up soon, and we'll talk about it again over the course of the next few weeks. But there isn't anything that I've done here today that you guys cannot absolutely do. You guys can do this. You can do it yourself. Make sure and look out for the YouTube video on Wednesday where I show you how George and I built this frame. And it's a behind the scenes video, y'all. It is not fancy.